We welcome you to downtown Houston. I'm Ed Cohen with the former Chicago Bulls guard, Jay Williams. And Jay, from the land of the space program, this one's ready for takeoff.
And Ed, you have to give a lot of credit to Daryl Morey. He's done a great job in reviving this franchise. There's no doubt about it. They're on their way up.
You have to love the analytics of basketball. No team in the NBA has been better than the Rockets. Let's get ready for this one. Jay, when Westbrook has the ball, you know you can expect magic on the floor. The question everybody is trying to answer, can Russell Westbrook lead the Thunder to the promised land?
He can, but he needs to take his game to new heights, and that comes with leadership. Everybody knows that he's a triple-double waiting to happen each and every night. He's done that consecutively for 2 years now in the NBA, the only player in the history of the league to do so. He's that fantastic of the player. I love the passion he plays with Ed, but he needs to get his teammates way more involved. When you have a guy like Paul George or Carmelo Anthony, you have to make them better. Look how CP3 and James Harden, Eric Gordon, Ryan Anderson, Clint Capella, they all make each other better. There's something missing chemistry-wise from the Thunder.
Man, are these two franchises invariably linked. Harden goes from Oklahoma City to Houston. Carmelo Anthony wanted to land in Houston. He gets traded by the Knicks to Oklahoma City. Go figure.
And I'll be willing to say this too, Ed. I think Carmelo Anthony would be a way better player if he were playing for the Rockets than him playing for OKC right now.
Knocks down the second after missing the first. It's in the hands of James Harden. To Capella. Harden, defended by Robertson. To Westbrook. Rockets with 4 to shoot. It's Westbrook. He's looking for that touch. Basket's good on the follow. Way to stay with it.
Ed, sometimes less is more. Keeping it simple is the best way.
Paul into the front court. Leads one. Down low Adams. Clint Capella sends it away.
Oh, he blocked that with authority.
Westbrook across the timeline. Down by 1. 4-3. Yes. Or in the case of the defense, not good.
But it was how he created the shot. As a defender, there's a tendency to stand up when you stare at the ball. Offensive player recognized that, continuously moved without the ball. Bang, that's how he set it up.
And he's fouled. He's going to the line for 2.
Trust me, you want to avoid early foul trouble. Take that one as a warning.
Andre Robertson at the line for 2 shots. For his career, 46%. Misses the first. Good recovery. Hits a second free throw. Harden into the front court. His team up by 1. To Capella. Oh, emphatic slam.
We call that get your money and put it in the bank.
Thunder with the basketball. Paul matched up with Capella. Takes stock of the floor. Here comes the screen. Paul down to Adams. Too much contact, and free throws coming.
Look, it's still early. Make your opponent work for those possessions. You don't want to start racking up too many personal fouls.
Nope, the first one does not go. Oh, he missed on a pair. Westbrook with the basketball. Leads 3. To Capella. Goes to the left side. Harden. Buries it on the catch and shoot.
Ooh, that confidence level is so superior. Whenever you start dragging back on defense before the ball even goes through the net, that speaks for itself.
To Gilgeous-Alexander. Here comes the screen.
Defensive foul to number 10, Eric.
He'll go to the foul line to shoot.
You never really want to foul a shooter, but if you do, ensure they're going to have a tough time converting. That's good knowledge of personnel.
First one goes down. And gets both to drop at the line. Rockets in control of the basketball. To Capella.
1 minute remaining in the first quarter.
Nothing going here on that drive. Here comes the screen. Russell Westbrook against Adams. To Capella. Had a chance, but it's no good. To Paul. To Gilgeous-Alexander. The Thunder down to 4 in the shot clock. To Gilgeous-Alexander. Trying to cash in. Gets a look. Can't hit.
See, when good shooters catch, they just shoot. When bad shooters catch, they become hesitant, reluctant. That's the first sign of a guy that doesn't have confidence.
Now preparing to shoot at the line.
Guys like Gary Payton would always take ones early like this all the time. Number one, to see if they'll get caught. And number two, to leave a little mark on you to remind you that they'll be on you all game long.
Russell Westbrook. He's got 2 shots coming. A career 81% free throw shooter. First try at the line, no good. Misses the second as well. Paul across the timeline. Shot clock's off as they try to get a little closer. Nice pass to get things going.
Strong finish. That's what you need, regardless of contact, focusing on the rim.
Beyond the arc for 3. Always has a chance for Tucker, but not that time. This for the tie. That's it for the first quarter. The Rockets with the lead. One quarter in the books. This has the potential to be a good one.
Yeah, both teams have came out. They played with great energy, and they've also done an excellent job of establishing their own tempo. They have to make sure they have to push through that and do more of that in the second quarter.
Here comes the screen. Curling inside. And he's going to the line to shoot.
Ed, as a defender, you cannot, I repeat, you cannot foul in the act of upward motion into your shot. Your timing needs to be better.
Russell Westbrook. Couple of free throws on the way. He's struggled so far. Knocks down the first. Able to convert on both free throws. Here's Paul. Brings it up the floor. To Adams. Surveys the floor. Finishing inside the paint on that one.
He's been doing this for years. The physicality in which he plays, no one wants to see that. You're going to leave the game with black and blue marks all over your body.
Screen coming. Russell Westbrook picked up by Adams. To Harden. Nothing going here on that drive. Shot clock coming down to 4. Down to 3. James Harden trying to cash in. James Harden. He is shooting well. He's made 2/3 of his shots. The challenge defending a guy who can be a 1 or a 2.
We're not old men talking about this game. We don't define players by positions anymore. Is he a 1 or is he a 2? No, he's James Harden. He is a scorer and an elite passer.
Here's Harden with the rock. Right through the heart of the defense. The layup is good.
You normally don't see that, but that's the type of thing that keeps shooters in the league for a long time. Every once in a while, they venture into the paint.
Oh, the touch at the rim. Count it.
Clearly not afraid of the spotlight here because that was not an easy look.
Westbrook with it. Leads 4. Yes, tough shot. It's got to go up to go in.
It looks like he's using his ball handling to feel the game out. I know it looks like he's just playing around out there trying to get the fans going. That is true, but he's also finding his rhythm.
2 minutes remaining.
Now Adams down low. No, I missed a short one there. Westbrook into the front court. Up by 6. To Harden. Not that time. Paul into the front court. Now down 6. Here comes the screen. Paul picked up by Westbrook. Ooh, Chris Paul. He's finally on the board. Makes his first shot. When you look at playmakers in the last decade plus, what sets Chris Paul apart?
He always puts you in a position to succeed. He leads because he's vocal, and when he directs and he guides, there is nobody better at the position than CP3.
Harden, defended by Robertson. Lets it fly from long range, and the rebound comes down to the Thunder. Robertson sizing up Eric Gordon. To Paul. From long range. Now that's a contest. Westbrook into the front court. 4 points the differential as we come up on halftime. For 3, Westbrook bothered just enough on that one. And count the basket.
No doubt about where that one was headed.
Gordon with it. His guys should be able to get the final shot. Ah, you've got to get that one to go. Gets to the basket and scores. Deep 3 at the buzzer. So we head to intermission all tied up in what's been a tight one from the start. Let's get you to Orlando, where we say hello to Jalen Rose and our EA Sports halftime report. Jalen.
It's time for the Rose Report at halftime, and it's brought to you by EA Sports. The Rockets are all tied up on the scoreboard after 2 quarters, and these guys have every reason to feel good about how they scored effectively in that opening half. Great offensive display. Have a look at the leading scorers. The Thunder will start the third quarter with a tie on the scoreboard. It's obvious how these guys scored the majority of their points, and that's in the paint. They did a great job of scoring down low. These are the guys getting buckets.
Game track. Points in the paint.
I found it to be a refreshing first half of basketball. In the age of analytics and the three ball, it was nice to see guys battling for points in the paint.
Player of the half.
I like this choice because he really put on a show in the opening half. There's a reason he's a fan favorite.
Who was cold?
James Harden didn't exactly light it up in the first half, and his touch from long range is just off here today. This game would be very different if he'd been hitting those three-pointers. We got our top 3 plays for you. Check them out.
Number 2. Number 1.
Thanks for joining us for the halftime report. The second half is about to get started.
Harden in possession. Tie game, third quarter. Tucker to Capella. Clint Capella. He's 3 of 5. 60% shooting from the field.
Look, there was barely any contact on that last play. I agree with the ref's no call. Let him play.
Paul, Capella's on him. To Adams. Paul knocks it down and the foul. He's going to the line for a chance at a 4-point play.
It never would have been a foul if you didn't give him space. Your job defensively is to stay attached to him at all times. Force him to put the ball on the ground and drive and make a shot over the trees below.
Chris Paul with a chance at a 4-point play. Shooting 50%. Some yes, some no in this contest. Three-pointer and now a free throw on the trip. Westbrook across the timeline. His group now down 2. Nothing going here on that drive. Westbrook to Harden. Here comes the screen. Harden defended by Steven Adams. Paul with it up top. Looking to make something happen. Gilgeous-Alexander to Paul. Nothing going here on that drive. To Paul. OKC now with 4 to shoot. Paul. No good. That's great defense.
Great contest by the D, but I want to see the coaching staff call the same exact play the next possession. Get that offensive player the ball. Let him prove that it wasn't the D. It was more in his own head.
And a putback slam.
Woo, that's nasty right there.
OKC ball.
Hey, switch, I got him.
Paul.
Two minutes left in the third.
The Thunder down to 4 in the shot clock. Here's CP3. Ooh, crisp ball. He's now 4 for 6.
You know, Ed, I'm down with guys having 35, 40, maybe 50 points in the game. But the one thing you look for in the defensive end, when there's a huddle after a guy has dropped multiple buckets on you in a row and everybody's quiet, nobody stands up and says, yo, I got him, I'm going to stop him, you're in a worrisome place for your team.
Harden and knocks it down. Jay, the defender, tough to gamble that time beyond the arc.
And the three-point shot of the offense applies so much pressure on the defense, you can no longer build your teams inside out. The new way, you build your team outside in.
Paul to Gilgeous-Alexander. Paul. And Harden takes in the rebound. Westbrook with the basketball. Counting down toward a minute to play in this third quarter. They work it to Capella down low. And the rebound taken in by OKC. To Paul. Five seconds to shoot. Chance for Paul. And the rebound by Tucker. Big finish at the rim. Neither side is giving up an inch.
I guarantee you tomorrow on Complex's social feed, that play will have millions of views. And I'm really looking forward to this fourth quarter because the first three have lived up to the billing.
Doesn't get the bounce. Gordon with it. Shot clock turned off as they try to extend the lead. Knocks it down from mid-range.
The assist from number 10, Eric Gordon.
Can't connect from inside. That ends the third quarter with the Rockets in front. The Thunder have it to start the fourth quarter. They trail to this point, but you'd have to say this one's up for grabs.
And the new style we play with in this league, all it takes is 3 quick threes, and you're right back in the ballgame.
It's Paul for 2. Deep 2 there, won't go. Westbrook with it. Leads 5. And a chance coming up at the line.
This drives me nuts when I see fouls like that being called in a close game. Sometimes you just gotta let them play, ref.
Russell Westbrook at the line for 2 shots. Shooting 50%. Some yes, some no in this contest. Can't connect on the first free throw. He missed a pair of free throws. Now Paul with the basketball. The deficit now up to 5. The rebound belongs to Houston. Gordon with it. He'll run the offense. Knocked loose. Thunder have it. It's theirs now. Paul to Gilgeous-Alexander. Over to the right side. Gilgeous-Alexander to Paul. Short jumper off the mark. Going to launch beyond the arc. Roberson's there to get the rebound. Paul into the front court. 5-point game. to Adams. James Harden with the block.
You know, sometimes basketball can become a very beautiful thing to watch. During the regular season, things can get difficult. Energy can be low. The passion at times can even be lower because players are tired. They're fatigued. But today, it's all been good. They're putting in an absolute show with killer efficiency and tremendous effort and intensity.
Rockets come up with it.
You got to go for the score here right now in this possession.
Harden. That's good D. Shot no good.
Shooters shoot. Period. I don't want to hear any excuses. That's why you're on the floor. You keep doing what you're doing with that superior confidence.
Cashes in for two.
That's a strong finish. Regardless of contact, finishing strong is key.
It's Rockets ball. Harden, guarded by Robertson. Probing the defense. Harden trying to take it to the basket, but a shot stays out.
And you see so many players quit on a play after they were beat the first time, but not him. He stayed on his hip, he fought back, and he made the player miss the shot. That's great defense.
Chance for Chris Paul. Rebound pulled in by Gordon. Harden with the basketball. Up 5. Curling inside. Can't connect from in close. To Paul. Leaving no doubt. Slams it down.
You never want to leave anything to chance when you attack the rim. You finish strong every time you head home.
Rockets have the ball. Westbrook to Harden. Down to 5. Down to 4 to shoot. Harden. That's off the side of the rim, no good. Gilgeous-Alexander to Adams. Short jumper won't go down. Here's the call. Intentional foul. Referee all over it.
This is a close game, and possessions are at a premium. That's a good move to stop the clock.
Here comes the intentional foul. They'll get it with 12 seconds left.
Okay, now look over to the sideline and see what the staff is trying to draw up on the next play. That's good clock management thus far.
First one, count it. No back-to-back free throws here. He missed the second. Good look that time, but off the mark. And an intentional foul here in the closing moments. But it shouldn't make too much of a difference in what is now a 2-score game.
Good foul right there. You want to stop the clock.
And hits the first free throw. And he makes them both. Now a whistle. And we're going to get a timeout from OKC. It's their first of the final 3 minutes. That leaves them with one more chance to stop the clock before the buzzer sounds. Deep three at the buzzer. It's the Rockets who are victorious as they take care of business at home. That does it. For my partner, Jay Williams, and our entire crew, I'm Ed Cohen. This has been a presentation of the NBA on EA Sports. For more, log on to easports.com. As we say, so long, everyone.
Hey everyone, it's Jalen Rose, and it's time for the EA Sports post-game wrap-up. The Rockets added a win with today's solid victory. You ask me, and I'll tell you, it was the ball movement that made all the difference. There's something to be said for a team that can win as a group, and that's what happened here today. What you see here is how the majority of the points were scored for the Houston Rockets. The Thunder just couldn't get within striking distance toward the end of the game. I'm sure they can't help but feel frustrated with the result, but they can't let that feeling linger. Sooner than later, they need to start thinking about the next matchup. Here are the guys who put up the most points for the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Game stats. Player of the game.
Being able to put up these kind of numbers is always impressive, but having the ability to lead and inspire is something special.
Who was cold?
This isn't the segment you want to be in, of course, but even the best players find their way into this part of the show. Top plays, and we've got 3 of them for you.
Number 2. Number 1.
That does it for us. On behalf of the rest of the crew, good night.